Thank you, Dr. Elrod. Thank you, Chancellor Copper. Good morning, hardworking faculty and staff, proud and relieved parents, calm and serene grandparents, distracted but secretly pleased siblings, other proud guests and special friends of both the graduates and the university. Most of all, congratulations, graduates. I have the challenge of standing between you and your future. You should know that there are certain conventions for commencement speeches. I should confess at the outset that I do not intend to follow them all. For one thing, commencement speeches are long and boring. Mine will not be long. For another, commencement speeches are long and pompous, saturated with advice you probably don't need and certainly don't want to hear. As I was saying, mine will not be long. You see, I do a lot of work in politics, and the first rule of politics is to set expectations low to make sure you clear them. So if your expectations at this particular moment are that you are somehow about to hear a life-changing insight that will forever shape your future, I'm afraid you need to lower your expectations. Indeed, if you were to press me on the question of where do I go from here, I'd likely answer by suggesting that you consider the advice Rodney Dangerfield gave in his commencement speech in the 1986 movie classic Back to School. "It's a jungle out there," he said, "so my advice is this: don't go. Live at home. Let your parents worry about it." So if you don't mind putting your thoughts about your future on ice for just a few minutes while I ramble on, I want to discuss something unique about Wisconsin, and it's something you're inheriting today. It's called the Wisconsin idea. You may not know it, but you're already a product of it. What I want to make absolutely certain is that you leave this campus a steward of it. You have been living the Wisconsin idea since you arrived here. It emerges from the single most important and powerful mission statement of any university in the world. Charles Van Nuys, president of the University of Wisconsin, wrote 113 years ago, "I shall never be content until the beneficial influence of the university reaches every home in the state." Out of those words came a mission statement that reads, "The mission of this university is to develop human resources, to discover and disseminate knowledge, to extend knowledge and its application beyond the boundaries of its campuses, and to improve the human condition. Basic to every purpose is the search for truth." Close quote. Mark Twain used to say, "A lie goes halfway around the world while the truth is still putting on its shoes." And Mark Twain never heard of social media, the internet, or Twitter. I would submit to you that the idea of truth, of an objective reality that is separable from lies, is under some assault today. You can choose which side you think threatens it. That's fine. But what's clear is that we no longer disagree about what to do about the truth. We disagree about whether the truth exists. I'm a political scientist by training, and I can tell you that civil society cannot permanently survive that condition. The cure begins with the Wisconsin idea. The Wisconsin idea says your search for truth began on this campus but does not stop here. And what and how you learned here can and should guide you going forward as you continue to live the Wisconsin idea. There is no better exemplar of the Wisconsin idea than the UW-Whitewater faculty who taught you during your time on this campus. These faculty are committed to the sifting and winnowing of knowledge in the search for truth. They challenged you to think differently, and they insisted that at this campus, the freedom to think creatively and to challenge the status quo demanded a free exploration of ideas and opinions. A commitment to free speech is not a Democratic idea or a Republican idea. It is not a liberal idea or a conservative idea. It is a Wisconsin idea. That is the essence of this university, and underlying it all must be a deep and unwavering commitment to a system of tenure that ensures your teachers will remain unafraid to challenge the status quo, encourage debate, and search for truth. The The Wisconsin idea is a quest for constant excellence. It values everything and appreciates everyone. Dr. King once said, if you're a street sweeper, sweep the streets like Beethoven wrote music, like Shakespeare wrote poetry, like Rembrandt painted pictures. Sweep the streets so well that when you're gone, all the hosts of heaven and earth will say, there was a street sweeper who did his job well. The Wisconsin idea, rooted in a vision of an educator who wanted the influence of a university to reach every home, values everything, appreciates everyone, and finds heroes everywhere. You can certainly often find them, as the Chancellor has alluded to and others, on the athletic fields and gymnasiums, and that is certainly the case at Warhawk Nation, I have learned. For example, during your time here in 2014, against 1 in 37 million odds, UW-Whitewater athletes became the first at any university level to win championships in football, men's basketball, and baseball. Yeah, that's pretty good. And the gymnastics team and the men's and women's wheelchair basketball teams won titles that year as well. The men and women, the men and women who competed on those teams are heroes and heroines, but they are not the only ones. Your colleagues in chemistry and geology who won the Barry M. Goldwater scholarships, and those music and art majors recognized for the Richard Gardner Awards, those are heroes and heroines too. And especially for me, so are the students who work 25 or 30 hours a week to be able to afford to take the classes that got them to this day. And so are the parents and guardians who first insisted and then sacrificed so their sons and daughters should be one of 40% of first-generation graduates to walk across this stage. You are heroes and heroines too. The Wisconsin idea, the spirit of the pioneer, values and encourages those who take risk. Based on the statistics of your generation, going forward, you are likely to have 10 or more different jobs or careers over the course of your working lifetimes. 10. I encourage you to choose wisely. If you start a new job and on the first day you are bored and think you know everything, you probably took the wrong job. Eleanor Roosevelt once suggested, do something every day that scares you. She was right. The Wisconsin idea confronts injustice. Dr. King once said, our lives begin to end the day we become silent about things that matter. Never be afraid to confront a bully or challenge those who say or do things that you know are wrong. Use the tools you gained here to stand up to racism, sexism, and bigotry in all its forms and all its manifestations. Let me thank you. Let me close with this. See, I'm getting close. I promised, I'm not long. In 13 years on the Board of Regents, I enjoyed the remarkable and really irreplaceable experience and pleasure of getting to know some of you and many of your compatriots across the University of Wisconsin. And through that experience, I know that for certain, folks in my generation are in very good hands indeed. In many important respects, it will be up to us to just get out of your way and give you the room and space to shape a better future for yours and our families, communities, state, and nation. Hopefully, we'll have the good sense to do that and to listen to one of the wiser poets of our generation, now a Nobel laureate by the name of Bob Dylan, who wrote, "Come mothers and fathers throughout the land, don't criticize what you can't understand. Your sons and your daughters are beyond your command. Your road is rapidly aging. Please get out of the new one if you can't lend a hand, for your times they are a-changing." There is no better statement of the Wisconsin idea, to lend a hand to embrace tomorrow. We gave you the Wisconsin idea. Not everyone believes in its importance or in its irreplaceability. I do. I hope you do. The one thing I hope you will not believe is in its inevitability, because it isn't. It is there because of imagination, but also because of investment, because of creativity, but also because of commitment. And today, the Wisconsin idea is yours. Congratulations to all of you for reaching this moment, to the graduates, but also to the family and friends who nurtured them, supported them, and at times simply tolerated them. Thank you for including me on this special day on Wisconsin.